Good morning again. Welcome back to the Gallo Radio Show on SuperTalk, Mississippi. Thanks for being with us. You want to join the conversation, you can do so on the C-Spire text line at 601-879-4395, 601-879-4395. C-Spire, customer inspired. This hour of the Gallo Show is brought to you by MWG Employer Services. Running a business is tough, and if you're struggling with HR, benefits, and payroll, you are not alone. That's where MWG Employer Services comes in. They can put together a custom plan that is fit just for you. To learn more, give them a call, 601-206-7966, or go to mwgemployerservices.com. We are at the MEC Capitol Day, and we're glad to be with you today. As this new legislative session is, I don't know if off and running is the way to describe it, or like kind of easing out of the gates. Bart Williams joins us. He is a senator here in Mississippi. Represents District 15. Starkville is home, but that's parts of Choctaw, Montgomery, Oktibbeha, and Webster counties. He is chair of the Senate Technology Committee and vice chair of the Senate Energy Committee. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, really good to be here. So with the start of a new session, does it feel like out of the starting blocks it's just a sprint, or is it kind of a week one is really kind of easing into things and then you really hit your stride?
Well, coming down Monday, I thought we would be easing into things, but for me, when we gavelled in, it's been a sprint for me. With technology, obviously yesterday we had the executive order on AI, and we've got legislation we're doing, just trying to fine-tune those bills. So I've had meetings and calls since we started.
Yeah.
But I got hired to work, so I'm glad to.
You know, it's the AI thing is so fascinating to me, and in a lot of ways confusing too. I'm like,
Absolutely.
AI, what are we talking about? Artificial intelligence? Is this alien stuff? The first time I remember hearing anything AI related, probably a decade or so ago, in a conversation with Hugh Mina from C-Spire. And Hugh has always been a forward thinker and a guy that was kind of looking to what is coming next and trying to integrate it within all of the things that they were doing. He's like, I'm telling you, this is it. This, we got to be focused on coding this. I was like, okay, I got no idea what you're talking about, but I'll go along with it. And here we are. Everywhere we turn, people are talking about AI, and it's now integrated into our phones and everything that we do.
I just did an update yesterday on my phone, and AI, that piece is there. Since session was over last year, I've gone all over the country trying to learn what I can about AI, so as we get ready to create policy around it, we'll be ready to do that. And simply put, I've concluded this. It's a tool. It's a massive tool. Mm-hmm. In the early 70s, I think everybody thought we were going to have engineers because we had this great invention called a calculator. I think it allowed us to be more efficient and do things quicker. I think AI does the same thing. We had the thesaurus. We had a spell check. We've incorporated these things. AI does it on a larger scalable level than it has, and as we talk about data centers and energy that are required, it's a lot of conversation around that. But simply put, it's a tool, and I think if we'll look at the tool the right way and embrace it, it can be a good efficiency tool and just help us do more things, like in the healthcare field. I think we'll find a cure to cancer sooner because the millions of man hours it takes to extrapolate things in DNA chains we can do with AI.
Yeah.
So that's where I am, and I think the main thing for us as legislators right now is to educate people that it's not evil, it's technology. We need to be careful, and as we need to create policy around it, we will, as far as public safety. That's our number one job, and we stand ready to do that.
Yeah. As you talk with people, constituents, and others, do you feel like that there is a level of trepidation? Like, the robots are taking us over, and maybe because of a lack of understanding that people are scared of this new space?
Yes, the fear of the unknown, and I think that is what's, not in all people, but in a lot. But when I've had an opportunity, myself included, as I began this journey, it's like, what is this? It was kind of that mystical thing out there, and not that I have a great understanding of it. But there again, you understand it's a tool, and the simplest way I can describe it, I was looking for, a very simple definition, predictive analytics, AI. Generative AI tries to predict the next word, the next phrase, simply put, at the most rudimentary level. And that's what all these models try to do, and it's amazing how how quickly this thing does move around and grow. If you use some of these AI models out there, just over a matter of weeks, you can see them evolve.
So who owns the AI space? And I ask that because I know lots of technology companies are trying to get into that space, right? I mean, X with Elon Musk has now got Grok on its platform, and you've got ChatGPT, and you talked about an update on your phone. Apple has rolled out Apple Intelligence, and it feels like everybody's trying to corner the market, but there's also this whole open source AI stuff that's out there. How does all of that work together?
Well, obviously,
is that like a who owns the internet question, or is it different?
in my opinion, yes, it is. You've got players in the space. If you go back to the late 90s when they had the .com, you had the same thing jockeying for control of that space and what was coming. OpenAI, which is the creators of ChatGPT, in November of 22 is when this thing really launched, when they came out with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We had, I think, 100 million users in 2 months, the fastest adoption of any technology. So that's how we got off and running. All the other players, Meta, Google, X, Tesla, everybody's coming with their models to use. Like Microsoft, actually, Copilot sits on top of the ChatGPT or the OpenAI, so a lot of them are using those. Today, the leader is OpenAI. But I think, as with anything, we'll see other players come into that space, and it will, competition's good. We're capitalistic. If you look at the chip area, NVIDIA has 90% of the market or something like that.
Yeah.
But Google's coming out with their chip and looking further in the future at quantum chips and things of that nature. So I think it'll level itself out as we go.
So forgive me if this is too elementary, but I feel like there are people that are listening. Now, look, there are people that are listening right now that know absolutely a ton, certainly more than I do about the AI space, and maybe you as well.
Yes, no doubt.
But I do think there are people that are listening like, what are they talking about? And so, like, I don't necessarily have the ability to understand how AI is going to cure cancer or find a cure to cancer, but I understand that it's data entry and then like automated learning and research and all those things. But at the most basic level, so I've got ChatGPT on my phone, and back during football season, I had a Utah game to start the season. And to start my research, like before I did anything else, I just told ChatGPT, I was like, tell me about the 2024 Utah football team. And I got like 3 pages of notes. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting starting point. We went on vacation this summer. It was like create an itinerary for a family of 5 with 2 adults and 3 kids in Colorado. And it just starts spitting out an itinerary. And then you can refine it to say, okay, we don't want to go to a major league sporting event. So it takes that out. And anyway, I feel like there are people that needed to hear that and understand, like, at the most basic level, this is some of what it can do.
That's exactly right, and I think you summed it up, really. I mean, we can extrapolate it out past that, but you're already a master at prompt engineering. And what I mean by that is when you talk to an AI model, tell me about the Utah team. And when you refine it, you tell it more like, I am a 58-year-old state senator, and I want information on AI task force bills throughout the nation. And it will give me more refined information. One of the things I've done recently that hopefully people could relate to is if you got into a Google search on a topic, it'll give you that information. It doesn't take that information and put it in a form that you want it to be in. You have to do that. We typically have had to do that. I see AI as being able to do that. For example, I have the privilege of teaching Sunday school class at my church, and we're going to start a series on spiritual gifts Sunday.
Okay.
So AI has helped me come along and create that. I said, I want to, the spiritual gifts in Romans. I need 7 lessons. I need 1 week per lesson. Please help me create this. So it's come out there and given me, actually I could follow it 100%. I'm taking it and refining it. I don't think we need to lose the human element.
Sure.
But instead of just giving me references, it is actually refining it, having how you start, talking points, and things of that nature.
College students found out in a hurry that writing papers, having ChatGPT write papers for them was not a formula for getting good grades. Because professors were also running those papers through ChatGPT to check them to make sure that they weren't plagiarized. But again, it's a tool.
It is a tool. And you go back to thesauruses and spell checkers when they first came out, there was a concern. Again, not the level it is now, but we should know how to spell now. I don't know about you, but it infuriates me when someone puts THERE there, like it's over there instead of there showing ownership. Sorry to get into English there, but that's what.
Never mind. THAEY''RE.
You got it. You feel the same pain I do. And these are from intelligent people doing that. But I think the AI models, what you're describing initially is a misuse of them. And we've got to find that balance in there. Within education, MBE, community and IHL. We have those conversations with them.
Quick thought. We've only got a minute left before the break. In terms of what legislation might look like in the AI space going forward for Mississippi, what's important right now?
Two things are important to me is, one, where we see a public safety concern, we need to make sure we get out in front of it. We don't see anything that's glaring in front of us. As everybody knows, child safety is very important, and as AI models come out that can hinder that, we need to get out in front of it. But I think we have a developing technology. It's an emerging technology, and we need to make sure everybody understands that we welcome this in a very controlled and safe way.
Yeah.
There are states and European Union have put some very restrictive laws, and I think we need to be conscious of legislating what we don't know. So just a guarded outlook going forward, with the welcomeness of the technology, in short.
It's interesting to continue to explore. Bart, thanks so much for your time this morning. Thanks for coming by.
Appreciate you.
Gallo Radio Show, Super Talk, Mississippi. More from MEC's Capital Day after this.